These brave men are about to risk their lives, but it's nothing new. They do it every day. They're part of CMAC, the Cambodian Mine Action Center, and they're living on the edge of landmine territory. Their job is to seek out and destroy the landmines that litter the lost temples of Angkor. Dr. Charles Hyam and his guide Sokon Sin are going on a dangerous journey into northern Cambodia to explore these lost temples riddled with landmines. Landmines have had a tragic effect on the people of Cambodia, but for over 3 decades, they've actually helped to protect these temples from vandals and looters. These minefields have been the guardians of Angkor. Cambodia is as notorious for its landmines as it is famous for its glorious temples. It is estimated that there are well over 1,000 Angkorian temples spread across Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, but many of them have never been explored. The most renowned temple is Angkor Wat. It is the largest of all religious monuments in the world. Built from the 9th to the 13th century, the temples of Angkor represent one of mankind's most astonishing architectural achievements. In the 12th century, as many as 1 million people lived in the city around Angkor Wat. During that same time, Paris had a population of perhaps 30,000. At its peak, the Angkor Empire was the most populated and complex urban center in the world. But in more contemporary times, these temples have had a sordid past. Until recently, the Khmer, the people of Cambodia, have suffered through more than 3 decades of war. The Khmer Rouge, the Vietnamese, and the Cambodian armies had all been fighting over control of Cambodia. The most horrific period was in the mid-70s, when the Khmer Rouge regime under Pol Pot forced Cambodia through an appalling Holocaust. The temples were at different times occupied by all 3 armies, and they were used as weapons storage depots and forts. The armies would surround the temples with landmines in order to protect themselves and their supplies. The armies are gone, but the mine menace remains. As a result, these temples were lost to the jungles of Cambodia.
Look at this. This is anti-tank mines just in front of the pyramids, the temple of Kokke.
This is Sokon Sin. As a former Cambodian soldier, he knows a live mine from a dead one. Sokon was only 7 when his family was driven from their home by the Khmer Rouge, or Red Khmer. He was taken from his family and put to work guarding the cattle for the regime. The Khmer Rouge murdered intellectuals and skilled workers and forced the rest of the population into farm labor. An estimated 1.7 million people, over 20% of the Cambodian population, died in these killing fields. Sokon survived the Khmer Rouge, but he never saw his father again. Growing up in these jungles during the war years, he's very familiar with the temples of his ancestors, and he now works as an adventure guide. Over the next few days, Sokon is going on a journey like no other. The deminers at Kokke arrive at the minefield shortly after sunrise. They are clearing the landmines from the temples just to the north of the pyramid. Each team consists of 2 deminers, a trimmer and a sweeper. The trimmer places 2 sticks parallel on the ground at the edge of the cleared perimeter. He then cautiously clears the vegetation in the area in front of the sticks, carefully removing all the twigs and weeds, clearing the way for the sweeper. He must do this delicately, because for all he knows, there could be a landmine just under the surface. He then moves one of the sticks forward and softly lays it parallel to the first, about 18 inches into the unsafe area. The second member of the team is the sweeper. Once he's sure everything is working properly, he walks over to the sticks and begins to slowly, methodically sweep every inch of the marked area. If he doesn't receive any warnings and is convinced the area is clear, he places the closer stick on top of the farther one, moves the string forward, and the process starts all over. The deminers are well trained. Since the deminers started working at Kokir, there has only been one accident.
Last year we had one injury in the big temple, in Kokir temple, and one had been wounded, but it's not a serious one.
A medical officer and ambulance are always on site with them, just in case. The deminers spend the day slowly and repetitively going through the same routine. They seem almost unfazed, even relaxed about their job. That is, until they hear that dreaded sound. That tone means there's something metallic under the ground. It could be an old bullet or a coin. But it could also be the triggering device inside a landmine. He immediately notifies his supervisor that by the approximate size and the strength of the tone, he quite probably has a landmine. His supervisor gives him the go-ahead to start the next step in determining what he has found. This is not a reenactment. This is real, and so is the danger. Now the job gets really hazardous. He begins by placing this small tent on the area to mark the spot. This is where all the training pays off. One wrong move could be disastrous. In order to determine if this is a landmine, he has to take these sharp metal probes and slowly push them into the ground beside the spot where metal is indicated, trying to hit whatever is there from the side. Most landmines are tripped by pressure on top, so coming at them from the side is the safest way for the deminer to find the metal object and determine its size and location. If it is a landmine, hitting it on the side shouldn't cause it to explode. That is, unless it is shifted and is now lying tilted, or the soldier originally placed the mine on its side to foil the deminer, which is how the one deminer sustained his injury. Many of the landmines are made of plastic and can float and move during the rainy season. The deminer repeatedly probes the area, trying to determine the size and shape of the object. Finally, he's convinced he has a landmine and begins to carefully dig toward it from the side. After a few tense moments, he finally sees it. It is indeed a landmine. He recognizes it as a Chinese-made mine, commonly found in this area. He once again calls his superior officer, this time to inform him that he has found a landmine. The officer gives him the go-ahead to expose it. Even a slight movement of the landmine can potentially set it off. If the landmine is a safe distance from a temple, it is left in place to be destroyed. A deminer will mark the mine and close off the area. The relief sweeper returns to his station, but only momentarily. He and the trimmer will just move to a new section and start clearing it. At the end of each day, all landmines discovered are destroyed by cautiously placing a small portion of TNT next to them and lighting the fuse.